Imagine this. You're standing by a quiet river at dawn. The mist curls above the water, and somewhere, unseen, a bird begins to sing. The current flows, calm, effortless, carrying fallen leaves downstream. You reach down, touch the surface, and notice how the water yields to your hand without resistance, yet still carries immense power. Now imagine another scene. A monk sits beneath a Bodhi tree, motionless, eyes half closed. Around him, the world continues. Insects buzz, the wind whispers through leaves. But within him, there is silence. A silence so profound that the illusion of I itself begins to dissolve. Two different paths. One teaches you to flow with the universe. The other teaches you to let go of the one who flows. Both promise peace, but through completely different doors. This is the paradox of Taoism and Buddhism. One seeks harmony with the world, the other freedom from it. But could it be that they are two halves of the same awakening? The origins of the way. Let's begin in ancient China over 2,500 years ago. An age of chaos, war, and philosophical revolution. Amid political unrest, one figure quietly walked away from it all. His name was Laozi, the old master. Legend says that after serving as a record keeper in the Zhou court, Laozi grew disillusioned by society's corruption. Mounting his ox, he rode west toward the mountains to live in solitude. At the border, a guard recognized him and begged him to record his wisdom before disappearing. Laozi agreed. In a few thousand poetic words, he wrote the Tao Te Ching, a timeless guide to living in harmony with the way. But what is this Tao? Laozi describes it as something that cannot be named, the unspoken rhythm that underlies all existence. It is the current that moves the universe, the intelligence of the seasons, the quiet pulse of nature that flows through everything. To follow the Tao is not to control life, but to align with it. The Taoist sage practices Wu Wei, or effortless action, acting without force, doing without overdoing. It's the art of surrender without submission, the strength that comes from yielding. As Laozi wrote, "The softest thing in the world overcomes the hardest. The gentle overcomes the rigid." In Taoism, wisdom is not in striving, but in seeing clearly, in realizing that the world's chaos only exists when you resist it. The awakening of the Buddha. Meanwhile, in another part of Asia, a young prince was facing a very different kind of chaos, the chaos within. Born into luxury around the 5th century BCE, Siddhartha Gautama was shielded from suffering his entire life. Yet one day, he ventured beyond the palace walls and saw something that changed him forever. An old man, a sick man, and a corpse. For the first time, he realized the truth of human existence, that life is fragile, impermanent, and bound by suffering. Haunted by this revelation, Siddhartha abandoned his palace, his wealth, even his family. For years, he wandered as an ascetic, seeking truth through fasting and meditation. Finally, beneath the Bodhi tree, after nights of deep stillness, he saw the nature of reality itself and awoke. He became the Buddha, the one who is awake. His teaching began with 4 simple but profound truths. Life is suffering, dukkha. Suffering arises from craving and attachment. Suffering can end. The path to its end is the Noble Eightfold Path: right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. If Taoism is about flowing with the river, Buddhism is about realizing the river itself and the illusion of the one swimming in it. Where Laozi saw harmony in nature, Buddha saw liberation in understanding the mind. The philosophical divide. At first glance, both Taoism and Buddhism might seem similar. They both reject greed, ego, and artificial striving. They both value compassion, humility, and presence. But their ultimate goals diverge. For Taoism, the aim is to live naturally, to dissolve conflict by aligning with the rhythm of the universe. Taoism doesn't seek to escape life, but to participate in it fully, without resistance. In contrast, Buddhism teaches that life itself, or rather our clinging to it, is the root of suffering. The goal is to transcend the endless cycle of birth and death known as samsara. Taoism whispers, "Be one with the world." Buddhism whispers back, "Be free from the world." Taoism is like the dance of the wind in the trees, spontaneous, organic, unplanned. Buddhism is like the stillness of a mountain, unmoving, silent, eternal. And yet both share an insight that modern psychology now echoes. The illusion of control is the source of our suffering. The Taoist sees this through nature, that control is futile. The Buddhist sees it through the mind, that control is delusion, the psychology behind the wisdom. Modern psychology has begun to uncover what these ancient masters intuited. The ego, the sense of I, as separate from everything else, is largely a mental construction. It clings, resists, judges, and fears loss, and in doing so, it suffers. Taoism responds to this by saying, "Stop resisting, let go of control." Buddhism responds, "See through the illusion of the controller itself." Carl Jung once said, "Enlightenment doesn't come from imagining figures of light, but from making the darkness conscious." For the Taoist, this means embracing your shadow as part of the flow of existence, letting emotions, fears, and imperfections move through you like clouds across the sky. For the Buddhist, it means observing the shadow with awareness until the illusion of self dissolves entirely. Both paths converge in presence, the still awareness that watches life unfold. Neuroscience even supports this. Meditation, mindfulness, and states of flow deactivate the brain's default mode network, the part responsible for self-referential thought, that inner narrator constantly saying, "I, me, mine." When this quiets, we feel at peace, connected, alive, and whole. So perhaps what Laozi called the Tao and what the Buddha called nirvana are two languages describing one reality. The moment we stop trying to be anything, we simply are. The meeting of two rivers centuries after both Laozi and the Buddha lived, their teachings began to merge in China, giving rise to Chan Buddhism, which later became known as Zen in Japan. Zen took Buddhism's insight into the emptiness of self and infused it with Taoism's spontaneity and poetic reverence for nature. The result was a philosophy that taught enlightenment not as something distant, but as something found in everyday life. In the sound of rain on bamboo, in the act of sweeping a floor, in the silence between thoughts. A famous Zen koan asks, "What was your original face before you were born?" It's the perfect meeting point of Tao and Buddha, a question that dissolves the mind and brings you face to face with the unspeakable mystery both traditions point toward, living the teachings today. So how do these ancient teachings apply to our modern world? A world of deadlines, notifications, and endless striving. In a culture obsessed with achievement, Taoism feels like a rebellion. It reminds us that the most powerful actions are those taken in alignment with life's natural rhythm, that sometimes doing less, or nothing at all, leads to more. It teaches us to live simply, to honor the balance between action and rest, and to recognize that nature's intelligence often knows better than our ambition. Buddhism, meanwhile, offers a psychology of liberation. In an age of anxiety and distraction, it gives us the tools to observe our minds, recognize our cravings, and see the impermanence of every thought, feeling, and experience. While Taoism says, "Relax, flow with life," Buddhism says, "Awaken, see life clearly." Together they form a powerful antidote to the modern condition, one of burnout, disconnection, and illusion of control. The deeper truth. Perhaps the deepest lesson from both is this: peace isn't found in escaping the world, nor in conquering it, but in seeing it as it is. Laozi said, "When you realize nothing is lacking, the whole world belongs to you." The Buddha said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." Two paths, one silence beneath the words. The Tao dissolves the separation between self and nature. The Dharma dissolves the separation between self and mind. And both, ultimately, dissolve the separation between self and existence itself. Maybe enlightenment isn't something you achieve. Maybe it's what remains when you stop grasping for it. The river and the mountain. Imagine returning to that river from the beginning. You watch it flow, unstoppable yet serene. The same river that nourishes forests will one day evaporate into clouds, fall again as rain, and return to the sea. Now look closer, and you see your own reflection on the surface. You realize that you too are part of this endless flow. The Taoist within you smiles at the beauty of it all. Then, in the stillness, a deeper awareness emerges. The Buddhist within you sees that even this reflection is an illusion. There was never a you separate from the water in the first place. The river flows, the mind awakens, the world and the self dissolve into one silent, infinite moment. That is where Tao and Dharma meet, not in words, not in doctrines, but in the direct experience of being alive. So perhaps the final question isn't which path is right. The question is, can you see that both were leading you home all along?